Hello everybody, my name is Andre and today we are going to build a high converting funnel in Go High Level. So let's get started by clicking on this button. Let's create a new funnel from scratch. Let's call it test funnel and click create. And after that, let's start designing our first page in our funnel, which is the offer. Let's call it create funnel step. And again, we are going to create this first page from scratch. Let's get started. Let's open up the website builder from Go High Level and start designing. The first thing we have to do is to create the header, and we are going to save it right away, header, and add it to global sections because we will create 3 pages in our funnel. The first page will be the home page, the landing page, or the offer as we called it already. The next page will be a calendar page, and the third one will be the thank you page. So all these 3 pages will have a header, so this is why I saved it as a global element, because I don't want to edit it 3 times, right? I want to edit it once and be available on all the pages. So what are we going to add in this header? Well, we are going to add an image, and this image will represent our logo. Let's use this one for example, and let's try to scale it down. Let's try 300 pixels, too much, 200 pixels, or even 100 pixels, right? Perfect. This is going to be our header, and we are not going to add anything else to our header. Maybe we are going to play a bit with the paddings and the margins, but other than that, we don't want to add anything to our header. We don't want to have a navigation bar. We don't want to have other elements that users can click on, because we want this funnel to be as simple as possible, and the entire funnel needs to contain only one call to action, only one thing that people can click on, right? And that one will be to take our offer. And for this particular example, I am going to use a free website as an offer. So let's try to draft the next section, which will be our offer presentation. So for that, we are going to create another full width section, and let's try to change the color on this section to maybe something other than white, maybe something like this. Let's try, and yeah, perfect. And inside this section, let's add a 1-column element, and within this, let's add a headline, and let's change the text to something like this: get a free website design for your home improvement company. And let's try to add something like this to the word free, right? So it stands out a bit more. Next thing that I want to add is a sub-headline with the text just 10 free designs available, because we want to add a little bit of scarcity on our funnel. And let's try to add a bit of spacing because it's a bit cluttered, so maybe 10 pixels, perfect. And below this, I want to also create a button, and obviously we need a bit more spacing. Perfect. Now let's try to design this button to look a bit nicer. So let's add a border, full border, maybe white. I think that could look nice. Border radius 15 pixels, or even 25. Yeah, I think that could look nice. And let's try to add a text, a nice text like this one with an emoji. I think that looks really nice, and we can also change it to black and let's try to make it bold, right? Not the subtext, but the font text, the normal one. Perfect. Maybe the border we can get 20, or yeah, maybe 15. 15 I think looks a bit nicer. And let's increase the margin here to, let's say, 20 pixels like this. And this is how it looks so far. Get a free website design for your home improvement company. Just 10 free designs available, and the only thing that you can do on this page is to click on this button. Of course, you can also add a very simple animation to this button, something like this, very simple, or you can make it more complex by adding custom code and custom effects to your entire funnel. But in this video I want to keep things very simple. One more thing that I want to add below the button is these 5 stars, just so we increase the credibility a bit. Obviously, don't lie about your rating if you are building such a funnel, right? Make sure that you use relevant and real data, right? You don't want to lie about your ratings, about your reviews. You don't want to use fake reviews. So yeah, don't do that. Great. Next, let's also add some margin, and so far so good. This is how our funnel looks currently. This is also how it looks on mobile, but yeah, we'll adjust it at the end of the video after we create the entire funnel. On the next section, I am thinking of adding, let's say, a small headline that looks like this. See examples, and below that I want to add testimonials. Obviously, for demonstration purposes only, I am going to add a 2-column row, and each column will have an image. I won't add any image. Imagine these are testimonials or case studies or video testimonials or things like that, right? That will add social proof to your funnel. And basically, if this was my funnel and I would try to offer a free website design for a home improvement company, then here I would showcase some home improvement websites, right, that I already designed. Again, don't lie, don't use fake websites or anything like that. Just design a few home improvement websites and try to showcase them here. And if you also have testimonials, you can also add them here, right? Let's say you add a paragraph, right? This is a testimonial, and also add the rating below, or not this one, but this one, right? Let's say you have a review here and you want to also have the stars, or even better, if you already have Google reviews, you can use the reviews element from here, this one, right? You can add it down here in this section. But for this example, imagine that you have case studies here instead of these placeholder images, and here you'll have reviews. Now I want to duplicate this section and try to move it below the case studies, testimonials, etc. section, and I want to edit it a bit. We're gonna keep the text and everything, the button, but we are going to add more things above this. So let's try to add a 2-column row. This will be above this, and let's try to add an image here. Let's imagine this image is a view or your team or your brand or something like that. And in the second column, let's add a text, right? Let's say this one, right? This section will have the role of introducing you, telling your story, or maybe who you are, just like a little presentation. And below this we can add a paragraph, maybe something like this. Let's try to optimize the text a bit, and let's increase the size to 18, something like this. My goal is to make sure you don't overpay for a new website. A website is crucial for any business to thrive in today's digital world, and we offer high quality, affordable websites to help your business succeed without breaking the bank. Something like this, right? You can play with this however you want. Let's also add a bit of margin, and yeah, something like this. Obviously you can make this longer, you can add the benefits of your service and so on, but for this particular example we are gonna keep it very, very short. And obviously below that you again have the call to action, the button, because you don't want people to scroll all the way up to click the button again, right? Whenever they scroll, you want them to have access to the button, right, to the call to action. So wherever they are on the page, they can see one of the buttons that takes them to the next step in the funnel. Right. Next, let's move on to the next section. Let's create another full width section, and let's add another column plus a headline, and here we are going to tell people what they get if they sign up for our offer. So what you get, and below that we can add actually not another column but another element within the same column, and we are going to use this FAQ. Let's try to design it a little better, and actually not an FAQ because we want something simpler. We can just add a sub headline, and let's try to use this text for example, and let's add a bit of margin, let's say 40, and this one we can also add a full border. Let's try this one, and border radius 15 pixels, something like this. We can also add an icon, let's say check, and this one, and maybe we can play around with the icon color and try to use the same color as the buttons, and we can do something like this. And in order for it to look better, maybe we can change this to, let's say 70 pixels, and let's add some padding, let's say 5, maybe 10 pixels left, 10 pixels up, 10 pixels bottom, and 10 pixels to the right. Let's also change the border radius to 10 pixels, and yeah, I think this looks much nicer. And we can duplicate this element. Actually, before we duplicate it, let's also add margin, 10 pixels up, 10 pixels bottom, and now we can duplicate it. Perfect. And we can add how many we want. Imagine these are the benefits and the features of our offer, what they get if they click on this get free design button. And below this we can also add our button again. Let's try to duplicate it, well, not like this, maybe like this, and we can move it by clicking on this, and something like this. Perfect. And obviously below that we will add our footer, which again will be saved as a global section. Footer, global sections, save. Perfect. And inside here we can add a subheadline with a text similar to this one, right? Perfect. And now we click save. And if we take a look, this is a very simple funnel that you can build for your business. Obviously you need to change the images, add a bit more text and reviews and case studies and testimonials, but other than that it looks pretty nice, and it's also a high converting funnel, even though it looks very simple. Now let's focus on the mobile version, and as you can see, it already looks pretty nice on mobile as well. You just have to make some adjustments at the font size for the benefits, for example, or for the text and footer and so on, but other than that it looks pretty nice. And again, it's a very simple funnel that you can build today. Now we need to focus on this button. What happens when people click on this button? Well, if you go to button actions, you need to open pop-up. You need to select open pop-up, and in the pop-up settings we need to create the pop-up, and here we can create a headline just like this: submit your information. Maybe something like this: submit your information and we will contact you for your free design. Maybe this one not bold, however you want. Actually, we can also add some margin like this, and below this we need to add, actually in the same column, we need to add a form. I don't have a form built, but you will probably have one. Just create a form that has name, email, phone number, or any other relevant information that you need, and obviously a button that says submit your information or get your free design, and make sure that the redirect action from here, from button action, is set to go to next step, and click save. Perfect. Now you did everything you needed to do for the first page. The next thing is to create another page, the second page, which has a calendar on it. So let me quickly show you how to do that. Go into your account and here add new step, and let's say calendar. Let's create funnel step, and since we are already here, let's add a thank you page, right? This will be the last step in our funnel. So on the offer page, people see who you are, what you do, what are the benefits of your offer. They click on sign up for that offer, then they will get the pop-up, they will register with your form, then they will be redirected to the calendar page, where here, let's say we create a page from blank, we add the header just like this, and we also add the footer just like this, and in between these we add another section which contains one column, a headline, and let's say something like this: thank you for submitting your information. And let's also add a subheadline with a text like this, maybe not bold, but next step, let's make this bold actually. So thank you for submitting your information. Next step, book a call with us to discuss your requirements, right? Requirements for the free design, because if you are promoting a free design, you actually need information for that free design. Schedule today to get priority access to our limited free designs slots. Again, scarcity. Don't miss out. Let's turn your website dreams into reality. Perfect. And below this, we will have a calendar. I don't have any calendar yet, but you got the point. Here, people can schedule a free call with you to discuss the requirements for the free design that they already signed up for. And after they submit their information in the calendar, select here on button actions, go to next step and click save. This way, after the calendar, they will be redirected to the thank you page, and this is also how it looks on mobile. Obviously it will look pretty cool with the calendar as well. And now let's move on to the thank you page, which again is a blank page that we can create quickly by adding the header. As you can see, it's really fast if you use global sections. And in between, let's also add another full section with one column and a headline that says the following: thank you for booking your design intro call. And maybe we can also add a subheadline like this: we're excited to connect with you and discuss your website design goals. Your booking is confirmed and will be ready to guide you every step of the way. Perfect. And with this, we have a fully functional funnel designed in Go High Level. But if you want to make it more complex and add custom effects and animations and stuff like that, check my Notion doc from the first link in the description, because it contains tons and tons of cool effects that you can add to your Go High Level website to make it look 10 times better. And if you're curious to see the best effects that you can use from that Notion doc, make sure to watch this video.